Okay. So, welcome everyone. Like I said, I am at not our Mesa location, but I'm still in the Mesa area. I'm at a student's house named Larry Johnson. He graciously let me borrow his Lowrey aria that I'm going to be teaching on. That is an EX series instrument. So, this class is made for EX, and it's got some EY compatibility. So, I'm going to talk about recording today. And before you turn off your devices, before you say, well, I'm not going to record, I'll never need that, I'm going to give you some reasons to use your recording feature if you have it. If you have even a fanfare or journey, I see Jeannie on here, you can do this too. You can record on your instrument. If you have an instrument like this, the EX series, you have a USB. So I'm going to talk about that as well. But like I said, I'm going to talk about some ways you can actually use it where you might say, I don't want to record, nobody wants to hear me, but I'll give you some good tips that'll help give you a reason to record. So before I start, I'm just going to play a song while we got still some people logging in here, so let's just have some fun. Let's do a song that I'm just going to kind of do off the top of my head just for fun. This is by the Miami Beach Sound Machine. They're built into here. The rhythm's called Miami Conga. So let's do a conga. And I'm hoping if I look over, I see people dancing to this, because this is kind of a fun one to dance to. So feel free, and you can stay seated, but let's see your conga the best you can here. Let's go. Drum solo. Here we go. Well, hopefully that's loud enough. Is that loud enough? I don't have anybody to help me check the sound here. Does that sound okay? Thumbs up? Okay, good enough. Here we go. All right, so recording. Let's talk about that, because we haven't gotten to do that, I don't think, on the EX series too much. We do it on a lot of the other classes. I've seen several classes where we teach how to record, but nobody ever really gives you why would you record, besides obviously, oh, it sounds good, I want people to hear this. But there are other reasons as well. Go ahead, James, do you have a question? I see you waving. Or are you still dancing to the conga? Well, while he's unmuting, if he's got a question, you can. One of the reasons, well, actually, I'll talk about some of the reasons afterward. I'll give you, first, I'm going to talk about how to record. This works both to your instrument and to the USB here. So let's do a step-by-step, okay? I need somebody to tell me, what is the first step? You should hopefully be able to figure this out. If you want to sit down and record, what's the first step? What do you do first before you even record? Go ahead. Exactly. Figure out what you want to record. Carolyn? Say that again? Perfect. That's exactly it. That's what I wanted. Step 1, set up your song. Set up what you want to record. Yeah. Easy as that. So if you want to record a conga, press some buttons, set up the conga, turn on your introduction, get it all ready to go. Everything's all set for you. That's step 1. Step 2. What's step 2? Maybe you guys even know all of these. Carolyn, go ahead. Yep, you're muted. Carolyn, I can't hear you. I see your mouth moving, but you're muted. So
All right, once you set up your instrument, what you want to do is see how it sounds. If there's, make your changes before
Sure.
you do anything else.
Sure. I'm going to kind of pile that in with set up the
The other
song, get
one,
it ready.
yeah.
It's all kind of together. But what I will say is the next step, after you have everything set and you're like, this is going to sound good, I'm ready, you want to put in a USB if you have it. Okay? If you don't put one in. If you don't have an instrument with a USB, you don't need to put it in. So at first it says setup song / registrations. That means just press the buttons, get it ready, like we just said. And then it says insert USB. The third step, let's move. Here we go. This is the part that people aren't sure about. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Can you guys see that on the bottom? Touch FF. I call it the French fry button. Touch French fry to view recording spaces available. See what's on your USB. So before I get into that, I got more people coming into the waiting room. So, as I said, touch the FF button. If you don't know where that is, let me show you. It's right down here. See this area? There are these 2 black buttons. They're both round buttons. One says rewind, one says FF, French fry. I'm sure that's what it means. Just kidding. It means fast forward. But we're going to say it means French fry for fun. But we're going to use that because what that's going to do is after you do step 1, set up your song. Step 2, put in the USB. Like I said, if you don't have a spot to put a USB, you don't have to do this part. So USB, then step 3, touch French fry. And then what it's going to do is right on my screen here, you can't quite see that, but it says song number 1. That's all I have on there. It's just listing all the things you have. So what you want to do is after you set up your song, let's just say I'm going to play a bossa nova. I'm going to play a bossa nova type song. I've got it ready to go. Put my USB in. Press this button to see what I got. And then I do my next step. Here we go. So next step, after the French fry button, you touch the first blank space. Unless you want to record over something. But otherwise, whatever's blank. So my example here, it says 3. And then if there's nothing next to it, that means it's a blank spot you can put something in. Does that make sense? Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a number 2 here. Like I said, you can't quite see it, but that's okay. There's a number 2 that has nothing next to it. I'm just going to touch that. And I'm ready to go. That's where it's going to go. That's when I record. That's where it's going to go, that little slot there. And then I'm almost done already. This is so easy. I touch record. Touch record. So I'm doing that right now. You hear that clicking sound? That means it's ready for me to play. So I do my next step. And I play my song. So it's not going to start recording until I start playing. So let's do that just for an example here. I did steps 1 through 5 already. Here's step 6, is just play my song. Well, let's try it. So it's recording this introduction even for me. You can see the lights blinking down here. as you're doing it. Here we go. Go down here. Okay, let's end it. Beautiful. Okay. So when you finish, after the ending completes, you're going to hear that clicking sound again. You hear that? That's just kind of getting you ready. If you want to play some more, you can. It will record it. But I'm just going to hit stop. Let's stop. Stop recording. So that is the last step. Let's look at that one more time. Play your song. Then when you're finished, touch stop. Easy enough, right? So let's do this. Let's zoom out so you can see this whole thing. Can you guys see that? It's probably a little small now, but whoo, that's too small. Okay, so let's review. Step 1, you set up your song. Step 2, you put in the USB. Now that FF button, just remember that is what kind of brings up all of what's on your USB already. So just find a blank spot to put it in. Then step 5, touch record. Start playing. And then hit stop when you're done. It's so easy, I can do it. It's like the Geico commercials.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you need to use a USB that has nothing on it? Or
No.
Will this interfere with the #1 song I already have settings?
No. Let me show you, actually. I'll make it a little easier here. Let me change cameras, and I'm going to kind of go around and zoom in a little bit so you can see something. Hopefully. Hopefully there's not too much glare. Of course, there's so much glare. Let's do it from here. Bear with me. Zoom in. I've got this on a camera stand. That's not the easiest to use, but there we go. So do you see that where it says Song 1 and Song 2? That's what I have on this USB already. If you have tons of songs, you might have to scroll down to get to more. And what happens is when you're looking at it and you touch one of these and then you touch record, then yes, it is going to save over that.
Okay.
So that's why I say find the first available blank spot like that.
Okay. Okay.
Great.
Thank
Great
you.
question. Yeah, of course. Let me get back to the seat here. There we go. So that's how to record. It seems pretty easy. So if I want to play it back, as you guessed, you can pull it up on the screen just like we did with the French fry button. And then just click on, the most recent song that you just did and hit play. And now it's going to play exactly what I just recorded. It's going to do exactly note for note. Here's the melody. So what's really fun to do about this is you have 2 buttons that are next to, I don't think you can see it from there. I was hoping you could. But I will tell you, let me hit stop. There are 2 buttons next to all these recording options. One says accompaniment, one says upper. What's really fun is while you're listening back, if you want to play and say, okay, stop playing the right hand, I want to try that. You can turn off the accompaniment, the upper button, and it'll just turn off whatever you did here. But it'll continue playing the rest. So you can kind of take over and say, oh, let me do that, or let me practice my right hand. Which is what I'll get into now is just kind of a reason to record. Like I said, some people say, I don't want to hear myself. Nobody wants to hear me. It is such a great practice tool. What I'm going to show you right now kind of live, is how I would use it. I taught this in a class, and actually everybody used it. I kind of gave it as homework. Make sure you do this, and they did, and they said, wow, I learned the song way faster than I did before. And that is use your recorder as a learning tool, okay? So what you would do is put a song in front of you. Right now I'm going to do The Way You Look Tonight, and I have never played this song in my life, okay? Even before, and I've got Larry here, he could tell you I've never played this song. I was just telling him before that, I was like, man, I didn't know there were so many chords in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I just did, record it. But all I'm going to do is record my left hand. And then the best thing to do after that is just hit the play button, practice the right hand. If you have trouble doing the left hand, work on it for a while. Just do that one hand, though, just the left hand. And then once you feel kind of comfortable, just record it. And the way to record it is you look at these measures here. Oh, boy, it's hard to see. But you look at the measures, and you just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next chord, 2, 3, 4. Next chord, 2, 3, 4. So just count it out. You don't have to worry about the melody part, the right hand, just the left hand. So let's do that just as a test. Let's see how it works. I'm going to set it up. Step 1, set it up. And actually, let me do this. I'm going to put that in the chat. I think if you're on a phone or iPad, you might not be able to get it, but we will make it available on our Patreon site as well. But let me put it on here so everybody, if you've got the chat feature on a computer, you should be able to see it. Might take me a second to find. Sorry about that. Recording. Here we go. Okay. It should be in the chat if you have that. If you want to look at this, the step-by-step I just showed you on the screen. So we're going to do step 1. Let's set it up. Let's pick a good rhythm. This aria here has a great new rhythm called Oscar Swing, which is kind of made for that song. So I'm going to use that, put on my introduction. Everything's good to go. So now I'm going to hit French fry, find my first available space, and hit record. And you should hear the clicky. So that means it's ready. I can start playing. So just the left hand. Just the left hand. Here we go. Starts on an F. Okay, here we go. F, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, G minor, C. C minor, F7, so let's do the ending there. That's good enough. This is one of my favorite endings with the Oscar Peterson sound. Okay, so now you're going to hear the clicky bit again, which means it's done. So let's hit stop down here by my recorder. And now on the screen it says song number 3. That's where it just went. I put it there in space 3, and that's where it is. So now, since I feel like, okay, I did that all right with the left hand, I'm going to go through and practice my right hand. So I hit play, and it's going to play exactly what I recorded. And let's see if I can do the right hand now. Here we go. Never played this before. You can hear my accompaniment playing all the correct chords because that's what I did. I ended it here, which we don't need to play. So really a cool feature is to record, not just for, oh, I sound so good, let's show the world, which you can do. I love it when a student records. Actually, the student's house I'm at today, Larry, he loves to record, and he comes in and he brings his USB and he says, let me show you what I worked on this week. And it's just my favorite thing. I love it. Because you get to hear what he sounds like. Most people say, oh, I don't like playing in front of people because, I get nervous. And that's a good reason to record too, is, you can bring in the USB and just show me. But that's my favorite reason to record, is I don't like to show off or, record myself just for the heck of it. I record as a learning tool. So I can work on that left hand, work on the right hand separately. And then after a while, when you put them together, you're like, that wasn't so bad. So any questions on anything I've talked about so far?
Sean,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have I'm on my Rialto right now. When I pressed to record, I get number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I know I have over 80 songs on my USB stick. So am I going to be erasing what's already there? It doesn't, it didn't pop up at 89 or wherever it was.
Do they show up as blank spaces, or does it say like song 1,
no,
song
they show
2?
up as, blank spaces.
If it's blank spaces, that means there aren't anything in those positions. So
Okay, but I know I have over 80 registrations on that same USB stick.
Oh, if they're registrations, that's separate. Presets and setups, like if you save your work to play a song later, that's different. It saves it as a different kind of file. So if you go to USB and say load setups, then it's going to bring all those 80 that you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second thing is, how do we rename these slots? Do we give them
I'll go over that at the very end. I'm going to do that last. I think it'll
fine.
make it a little easier. Yeah.
Great.
I can tell you, you got on the Rialto, you got 250 songs that you can record.
Yeah, there are 250 spaces that you,
Yeah, 250 spaces.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you're using the same stick, then you can go that far on a stick.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but a lot of times, you can record not just the song, but you can record all of the presets and then give the presets a name.
Yep. And we'll talk about naming afterward, but yeah, that's a good point. Jeannie, did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I'm on a fanfare, but if I recorded like you just did for practice purposes, and I didn't want to keep that accompaniment, do I just play over it, or is there a method of getting rid of that?
I don't know. You mean getting rid of it? If you mean after you're done and you want to delete it?
You mastered the song now, so you don't want the recorded accompaniment anymore. So so do you play over that space, or do you have to do a special procedure to get
That's
rid
probably
of
a good point. Yeah, you can record over it and do the next song. If you're moving on and you say, okay, I don't want that anymore, you can just record over it. That's fine. Or if you want to just delete it, there's an option for that as well. So I'll go over at the end. I'll go over deleting and renaming and all the kind of extra stuff. Okay, Carolyn, go ahead.
Okay, when you first put in your USB, and it comes up on the touchscreen, you would have 2 choices. You have your registration side and you have your song side. They're 2 different entities. So wouldn't you have to choose your song area as soon as you put your USB in? Because otherwise, if it's going to come on the registration side, you'll wipe everything out in that.
No, you won't. You won't wipe everything out.
No, you only wherever it lands. Once you load it, you have to decide where you're going to load it, your registration or your play side of the song. So wouldn't you have to make a choice right there? Because you're going to play.
No, the registrations are setups. That's like saving your work to presets. That is a different function because I have to go to the USB button, hit load setups. This, you don't have to touch the screen for USB at all. You go down here where I pointed to the French
Okay.
fry button. That's what brings up the recordings, not the
Okay,
presets. So yeah, you won't save over anything. And that's
okay,
why I say just find the blank space, because then you surely won't record over anything.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Okay, Paul, did you have a question or somebody?
How can I record so that I can play back on another venue like a car or something like that?
Perfect segue. That's where I'm going next.
All
All
right.
right, cool. Here we go. So that was recording as a Lowrey file. That means you can only play it on here. And that's why it's a good option to uh, record that way, because it'll save all the setups you use and the sounds. So they're all the same, and you can turn them off, turn them on, things like that. Um, the next part, which is a really cool feature, this is on the EX series. So if you have the USB and the big touch screen here, or the I think the Inspire or Rialto, this is a great feature. It's called MP3, and that's what you would do if you want to record it to be able to play in a car or on your stereo at home, or like my student does here, and he brings it in. He brings it on an MP3, so he can show me no matter what. You know, I don't have to have this instrument at the store. You know, otherwise I would if he didn't do that. But the MP3, you can even, I had a student buy something like this just so they can record as an MP3 and email it to their family and friends, you know, because they've got family all over the place, and it's just kind of a pain to have to send like a CD to everybody. So what she did is she got one of these, and she's recorded MP3s, and just as she makes them, she just sends them out like, hey, look, I did a song for you, you know. So great feature. So let's talk about how to do that. The steps are not very different. So let's do this. Maybe this time I'll put it in the chat first, for if you're on a computer, you will see this. It's called recording as an MP3. So it's just a slight difference here. Okay, should be in the chat now. But if you don't have that, that's okay, because it's right here. So recording MP3, it starts the same way. So let's do that. Let's set up a song. Let's do a country song. Why not? I'm in Arizona. It's kind of like you're required to like country out here before they give you your driver's license. So we're going to do country here. So let's set that up. Now, the second step, put the USB in. Well, that's already there, so I don't have to worry about that. Now, let me see. Let's do a pop quiz here. Does anybody know how to, oops, pressed the wrong button here. Hold on. Does anybody know how to, the first step after you put in your USB, what do you want to press? There's a button to press to record as an MP3. Oh, Gary, you probably know.
Push the audio.
Close. Audio, yeah. There's a purple button. Sorry, I think the internet's a little slow here, so my computer's freaking out a little bit. But yeah, the next part here, step 3. Oh, I put another step there, sorry. I forgot my own steps. Let's do this first. You do want to touch the audio button, but right before that, let's do this. If you can see it, hopefully. There we go. Okay, this is really important, so you can be able to hear better what you're doing. So what it does is when you record as an MP3 file, it's strictly recording the audio. So it's like putting a tape recorder right up to the speakers, okay? So what you want to do is have this expression pedal, that's your right foot pedal, put it all the way forward, which means it's going to be as loud as possible with your foot. But you don't want it blasting in your room, so what you do is you turn down the master volume. So lower the master volume and raise your foot volume, your expression pedal, all the way, because then your MP3 is going to be a normal, volume. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you're going to listen to one song, and then you're going to put your recording on and say, wait, this is way too quiet. Why is it so quiet? So make sure you do this. And then, yes, right after that, touch audio. When you touch the audio button, that's all you have to do. And what it's going to do is telling your instrument that you want to record as an MP3. That's all you have to do. You don't have to pick a slot for this one. This is where it definitely, you can't record over anything. So if you touch audio, it's going to put it in the first available spot automatically. So that's when you're doing an MP3, you never have to touch anything. You just touch audio and then touch record. Easy as that. And then it's the same. What's that?
There's on the Rialto, there's a button that comes up on the screen. It's over in the right-hand lower corner, and you touch that instead of the audio. And that gives you your conversion to the MP3.
I think you're thinking of if you want to turn a Lowrey file into an MP3.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about recording directly as an MP3. If I have time, I'll try to jump into that at the end too. But we're just talking about, hey, let's just record the audio and play it, not recording as a Lowrey file and then recording as an MP. We'll get into that. But first, let's keep it simple. We're just going to record as an MP3 file because I want to send it to, my Aunt Brenda, for example. So I'm just going to click audio. And let me go back to my screen here. Then, like I said, touch record. Now here's where there's one more slightly different step as well. If you could see my screen, which you cannot, there's something on the left. What it says when you touch record, it says preparing to record. Recording when you touch that button, it just kind of arms it. It gets it ready to go. And when you want to start recording, you have to touch the play button. That means you're ready to play. Touch play. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to touch play, and then I'm going to play, and at the end, stop. So let's do that real quick. Let me leave this on the screen in case anybody needs to write anything down. You can do that. This is for if you are doing an MP3. So step one, set up the song. We've got my country band ready to go. I put my USB in. I put the master volume all the way up. Or sorry, expression pedal volume all the way up, master volume down. Okay, touch audio. That button's on. Touch record. And then now I'm just going to touch the play button and go. Here we go. Play. All right, now I play my song. Wait for it to completely finish until there's no sound, and then I touch stop. Okay? So it's pretty much exactly like I said, having a tape recorder. You have to hit record and then touch the play button when you're ready to play. Then when you're done, hit stop. Okay? So now on my screen it shows me Lowrey Audio 1, Lowrey Audio 2. It shows me anything I have recorded here. So if I touch play, it's going to play exactly what I recorded. But I can't change anything. I can't change the tempo. And I can't turn off my upper keyboard like I said you could before. If I want to hit stop, I just hit the stop button right next to it. So let's see. I see I got a couple questions already. Go ahead, Carolyn.
John, on the touch screen, does it show that it indicates MP3 file?
Certainly, it does.
Okay.
Well, it says, you can't quite see it, but it says Lowrey Audio 1 MP. So the
Okay.
MP means, yes, it's an MP3. What you can do, too, this is what most people do. I will talk about this for a second, is since it doesn't have the names in there, the best way to do that is once you have several that you like in there, take this out and you can put it in your computer. And when you put it in your computer, you can name them there. It's probably the easiest way, just to type in a name. Then when you email it out or listen to it, you'll know what it is, so it doesn't just say Lowrey 001.
Okay,
Let me put that
Thank
back
you.
in. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Any other questions? Good, good, good.
You can also rename it right on the ARIA.
Yeah, on the ARIA. So this isn't on all of them. This is on the ARIA. You can actually rename the song on here. So if I go to, let's see, I think it's, oh, there's another cool function on here too I should talk about, but maybe I'll get to that. Oops, keep hitting the wrong button. Okay, so when I want to rename an MP3 file, when I go to USB on the screen, there's a feature. I'll just get this camera going again, just so you can see what I'm looking at. This is important. Okay, switch cameras. Okay, can you guys see that? So if I want to rename the audio that I just recorded, which one do you think I press? There's one right here that says rename audio. So that gives me the list of recordings that I just did. One of them was already on there. I think I did that testing it out earlier. And then number 2, that's what I just did. So if I want to rename that, I just touch it. Oh, and then what's great about the ARIA, this is my favorite part, is you can name it right there. You've got a little keyboard on this one. Cheatin' Heart. That's what I just played. Your Cheatin' Heart by Hank Williams. If I want to clear the rest, I can just do that. Cheatin' Heart. And rename. Boop. Done. So I guess I'll take a second and answer those questions from earlier too. Somebody said, how do you rename your songs? You can do that here as well. Even if it's not an MP3, we just did it if it's an MP3. If you want to rename the actual songs, there's a button called Rename Song. That's if it's a Lowrey file. So same type of thing. It just says song 1, 2, or 3. The most recent one I did was 3. And I can do the same thing. Just rename it right there. I already forgot what I did. What did I do? That Latin song. Yeah. Girl from Ipanema. So I just do Girl, Ipanema, and so on. Rename. So that makes it really easy. One other special feature while I have it on the screen here, I will show you something really cool. This is if you have an ARIA. This is for the ARIA people, and I know we have a lot on here. So this is cool. I found this out. This is really fun. You have a special feature in here. Let's go to page 8. One of them says Music Recorder. Now, as I think Ken mentioned too, you can do what's called, first of all, let's talk about this. There's a button called Sync. That's for if you record as a Lowrey file and you say, gosh, ding darn it, that sounds so good. I wish I could have that as an MP3 to send to somebody without having to record it again. That's what this is for. So when I touch Sync, oops. I goofed up. I pulled out my USB. But that's okay. If you touch Sync, what you would do, it just brings up your song list. You say, what do you want to sync? And then you do the same steps I did on the bottom right by the recorder and hit record and just kind of save it as an MP3. This is a new feature on the ARIA. You see this right here? This isn't on the other ones. It says WAV, wave. What that is it's not an MP3. That makes it record as a super high quality audio. So that's if you want to record for just some famous musician and you want it to sound the very best. That's a really high-end recording file, a wave file. I just figured I'd throw that in there because I found that out, not too long ago, and I think that is so cool. So it's just a higher quality than MP3. You might not notice a difference, but that's okay. It is a higher quality. So let me go back to this now. I think we're all squared away with the screen. Okay. All right, let's take some questions here. I know we have some.
One thing that you can do is you can record your voice.
Mm-hmm.
You can record your voice if you got a mic and say what the name of the song is that you're going to play.
Yeah, if you record as an MP3 or the audio button on, you can definitely do that. Record your voice. I have a student who, Larry here, he records some other sounds as well, like sound effects in there that he plugs in, like a device, like a phone. There's an input here, and he just plays a sound effect with that, or audio from a movie. He did the theme to Rocky, and he recorded an actual like I think like before a fight or something like that, just like when they were, I think, getting psyched up to box, he recorded that into his song. So super cool. If you use the audio button, to record as an MP3, or like I said on the screen, you can change it to a WAV file, which is just slightly higher quality. So yeah, great point. Microphone for sure.
One thing that I do that's nice is that if I do a recording, not on MP3, and then I do that until I get it the way I want it, the way I'm going to sing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do the recording for the MP3 singing the song.
Ooh.
And it overlays it over the recording of the playing the organ.
There you go. Yeah, you can do that too.
You can sync those right together. I've probably done close to 100 songs that way.
Good.
And give them to people that, that I know.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear that. That's what I like, is hearing
all
the students using all these cool tips or these cool things that you can do with these machines. Some people say, I don't use that. I don't use that. I don't really do that. It's really fun once you start using them different ways. Like I said, if you don't want to, record for somebody, use it as a learning tool. If you don't want to do that, you can, do what you're saying too and record singing, It's awesome. It's
great. I've done that for some of the churches, and sang Lord's Prayer and so forth overlaid it.
Good.
Sean?
Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, Sean.
Yes.
This is Levon. When you're syncing from an Lowrey recording to the MP3, do you adjust your expression pedal for that? Because you usually don't adjust it for the Lowrey.
Yes. Lowrey file, if you're recording, as you noticed, I didn't have to change anything with the foot pedal. Just it records just as kind of like data. It's just recording what you're doing, the notes you're playing, and it kind of, you have to have a Lowrey to play it, But if you're doing an MP3 or the audio button on, or if you're syncing it from the Lowrey file into an MP3 file, yes, you do have to have that expression pedal all the way forward, just the same, because that's what you're doing. Like I said, the tape recorder thing, it works the same for this. You're putting a tape recorder up to what you already did and just hitting a play, and then you just wait. So, good question. Mm-hmm. Any others? Yeah.
This is Dennis. On an Inspire, I missed, how do you get to renaming a Lowrey file?
On the Inspire, and I think most of the others, I think they might have started it on the Grand Marquis, I'm not sure. You will have to take out the USB and put names in them on your computer.
Okay.
Because that option isn't on there. So you just do it the same way, take it out, put it in your computer, and then you can kind of go through all of them, name this one. And then some of them, if you said, I didn't like that one, that was a bad recording, just delete it, go to the next one, put a name, Okay, Carolyn? Oops, sorry, I muted you right as you unmuted. I was trying to unmute you. Go ahead, Carolyn, you have to unmute again.
Here we go.
There we go.
When you're planning to record, not on an MP3, and you start to, everything is set up. Now what happens, start to play, and all of a sudden Because you know you're recording, you say, oh, I made a mistake.
Uh-huh.
So you hit the pause button. Now what happens? Will that, then you start, will that correct what you're going to do next?
No, I generally wouldn't use the pause button while recording anything ever. What that's good for is while you're playing back something and listening to something, and you say, "Oop, I'm going to stop it right there, but I'm going to keep letting it play in a second," just so you can correct your, if you wrote a note, and you're working on
Okay.
a song, use the pause button as when you're playing back, but not recording. If you mess up, something while you're recording, just hit the stop button. Just say, "Oh, I'm done. That was bad." Hit stop, and then go back and record it again.
And it starts over from the
Yep.
beginning again.
Yep. Yep. And then
Okay.
what you can do is when you hit that French fry button, I keep taking out the USB here. Let me put it back in. When you touch that, when you want to record over that, say you just messed that up completely, you want to redo it, you can go to the song that you goofed, click on that, then hit record, and it'll just record over what you did.
Okay, and then if you want to do another song, that will go to, it won't change the screen, will it? Song 2, or will it continue to play right if, say you want to do a medley and you've done one song and it's okay. Now you don't have to, you continue to play, hit
Yeah.
start again. And
If you're recording a medley, you want to do it all in one go. So no pausing, no anything like
Okay.
that. Just record it as if it's just one song. And
Okay.
even if there's space in between them, that's okay. It'll record that space, so it's okay. But yeah, you don't want to stop it and then go to the next one and then say that's a melody, a medley, because then there'll be separate tracks. You have to listen to them
Okay.
separately anyway. So,
All right, thank you.
all right, Bev?
If you are recording several songs in a row and you want to play them back, is there a way, I haven't gotten into my Rialto far enough yet to learn
That's
this.
okay.
Is there a way then you can push some kind of a button so that it will continuously play and go through several songs in a row?
You mean play through like all the recordings on your
Uh-huh.
song? Just play through 'em? Yeah. The best way to do that, in your feature menu, there is a function called, I think it's chain songs. Yeah.
Change song.
There's one called chain songs, which means it's just going to ride through your songs like a chain, And it's got different options. You can do random loop on here. I don't know if all of them have that. But there's one called chain loop where it just kind of plays them all in order and repeats them. And then one that says random loop where it's just going to go all over the place.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just starting on all of this, and this is so exciting. Today's lesson is perfect for me.
Perfect. And like I said, if you didn't get the handout through the chat, I know some people have iPads or phones, and for some reason Zoom doesn't let you download it that way. It's okay. You can rewatch this after we put it on YouTube, as well as we're going to have the handout on our Patreon site as well. So, all right. Any more questions? I think there was one thing I said I was going to save for the end as well. I know I talked about renaming. I think there was one other thing, but I can't remember for the life of me. So,
Delete.
delete. Yes, perfect. And that's right there too. So if you touch the USB button on your screen, and like we said, it says rename song, load setups, all this stuff. There's one that says delete song. Just touch it, and it'll bring up the list of what you got. And I've only got the 3 that I've done recently. If I want to delete my girl from Ipanema, it was terrible. Let me delete it. So you just touch it, and then right on the screen it says delete song. Are you sure? So it makes sure you don't click it by accident. And then I say yes, and I just deleted it. It's gone forever.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that you can do on the Rialto is it's got over where you do the control of the music, it's got a button that says erase. So if you highlight the screen song that you want and then go over and hit erase and then hit play, it erases it.
Sure, yeah, you can do that too. What I would recommend if you're just kind of getting into this like we talked about is we're going to leave it there. Let's keep it simple. Start with just those easy step-by-step kind of tools I gave you, and just start simple. Record something and see how it goes, okay? And if it goes well, great. Let's do some more, and we can jump into, some special things like Ken's talking about as well, some different things you can do with recording, where I recommend talking to a personal assistant, which we're all free. Just call us, we'll help you. So talk to somebody. We'll give you some different ideas of things you can do if you're getting into it and saying, wow, this record thing is neat. I should use that more. We'll help you with it, give you some more to work on. But start out simple. Like I said, you can do what I did, where I just record the left hand by itself, just count 1, 2, 3, 4, A, 2, 3, 4, C, 2, something like that. Then try the right hand over it, just as a learning tool. Or, like I said, you can record just if you've got a song that you think, wow, this is sounding really good, I better record this so people believe me. You can do that too. So just start simple. All right. One more question, and then I'm going to close out. Go ahead, Carolyn. Oh, you muted yourself that time. There we go.
Okay. What happens if somebody is wearing headset and the very first thing you're saying to hit your volume pedal all the way up, sure you check your master volume. Would you say that, leave your headset off? Or because otherwise you'd be blowing your eardrum?
Well, you can leave your headphones on, but what you want to do is do the volumes without applying them first. If you put your foot volume all the way up, don't test it out yet and hear how loud it's going to be. Put your foot all the way up, put the master all the way down, and then kind of test it. See, I'm hitting notes. And then get it to where you think, okay, I'm going to leave it at 2 red lights,
Yep.
But as long as it's comfortable for you, but just make sure as long as the foot's all the way up, should be good.
All right. Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, well, I'm going to close out here. I think I'll close out with, maybe I'll try to improvise the way you look tonight here or something. But before I do that, just a couple things. Make sure, I don't need to put it on the screen. I think you've seen it by now. But our Patreon website, it's just patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers. It's a great thing to use where you can see every single thing we post. And there's just so much. So, yeah, if you make I think a monthly contribution, you can get everything we do. If you're a Fletcher-holic, if you want everything we do, it just helps keep this going because as we start to get, a little normal now, we're starting to do more things at our store locations. But as we do that, we want to keep this thing going. So that helps us out with that as well. So visit Patreon, where we'll put the handouts for today's lesson. It's just nice to have just a step-by-step thing. I know you've probably all seen in your manuals how to record, and then you kind of go, never mind, close your book, forget it. It's not the most exciting read. So it's nice to have just a step 1, step 2, step 3, done, So that's what we got for that. So check our Patreon site. And I think we have several things coming up. I think it's next weekend, next Saturday, Dawn Casanova, if you know who she is doing a really cool type of concert called, I think it's Baby Boomer Bonanza, where she's actually going to play on some of our smaller sized instruments for that. So that's kind of exciting because she'll get a good sound out of it and play a bunch of boomer songs, which are some of my favorites. So that works out. So let's just play us out. Just do one more song for fun. And I'm going to actually, yeah, let's do that. I'll do what I said. Just the way you look tonight, because it's a pretty song. I love using these new styles on the aria. It's kind of fun to have. Here's Oscar Swing. And I'm just going to leave this view because my other camera's who knows where. Here we go. See if I can sight read both hands. Here we go. hold the fill in and let Oscar Peterson jam for a second. I'm gonna end it there. I stopped there because I looked ahead in the music and I see A flat major 7, A diminished 7, B flat minor 7, E flat, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna worry about that part there. I'm sure if I did the recording thing first, if I did the left hand on its own, then the right hand, I can probably do it, but I'm not gonna worry about doing all of it once. All right. So that's all I got for the rest of the class, so I'm gonna stop the recording here and say have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
John.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you.